Welcome to Venture Capital Press. I'm Matt Crowley. This webinar is going to be on convertible promissory notes. So you may have heard about convertible promissory notes. There are a number of features that you need to know about, but first the basics. So anytime you loan somebody money, normally the person who is the person borrowing the money will give you a piece of paper back agreeing that they really do owe you the money and they'll repay it. That would be called a promissory note. So much like an IOU, it says you're going to get repaid someday. A convertible promissory note is different than that. A convertible promissory note is basically a way for someone to make an investment in your startup company, but they're going to do it earlier than everybody else is. And so they're going to agree that while their investment can be treated like debt, that ultimately the idea is that promissory note is going to be converted over into shares of stock or membership interests in your LLC, whatever equity it is that you're selling. So the normal way that a convertible note would be used would be for what's called a bridge loan. So imagine with me that my company, Crowley.com, is raising money for a Series A round, and we're going to raise $2 million. We think that we're going to close it in the next 3 months. However, I need $200,000 today, like right away. And so I find somebody who's willing to give me $200,000 today, understanding that they really don't want an IOU, they don't want debt, they want to buy Series A stock, but they understand it's not ready yet. So they're going to do me a favor of sorts. So they're going to agree that as a technical matter, they're going to loan me $200,000. And when we close the Series A round, that note will convert automatically into shares of preferred stock. Now you may ask yourself, that's an awful nice person, why are they doing me this favor? Well, normally the convertible note would only be sold maybe 90 days ahead of the Series A. So the idea is it's enough money to bridge you to the Series A round. So their theory is they need to get something for having done you this favor, and it could come in a couple of forms. Much like other types of debt, there will be an interest rate. Now, again, the money is being invested, so they don't want to be paid interest back. What they want is they want extra shares of stock, extra value. So if they loan me $100,000 and it takes 90 days, maybe I'll give them an interest rate of 6-7%, maybe 10% if I really need it, with the idea that instead of getting $100,000 worth of Series A, they'll get $100,000 plus that interest will also convert into shares of stock. Now, if we aren't disciplined and we do a note with something like 10% interest and it lasts a year or 2 years before it finally converts into Series A, the amount of dilution that you as a founder will take could be fairly significant, because instead of $100,000, now he's getting 110, 120, maybe more thousands of dollars worth of stock that you had not intended. So, like I keep saying the word normally, you would only take a bridge note with high interest if you were expecting it to get you to a Series A round that's coming imminently. These days, what most people are doing is they'll do a full-on convertible notes program where instead of selling $2 million worth of Series A stock, they'll sell $2 million worth of convertible promissory notes. And part of the logic there is that people think that, oh, well, if we do notes, we won't have to put a valuation on the round. We can figure that out later. It's sort of kicking the can down the road. I'm not a big fan of that. I have clients that do it. There are good reasons for doing it. But the more disciplined you are, if you can do a true A, if you're going to raise significant money, that's normally the better course. Now, other features of convertible notes. So the person lending me, basically buying Series A early, in addition to thinking about the interest rate, is also going to want some other favors for having done me the favor of floating me along until I could get to the A. One thing they may ask for is a discount. So instead of having $1 buy one share of Series A, they would like to have a 20% discount. So now their 100,000 doesn't convert into Series A at $1 a share. It converts at 80 cents a share, which means they get more shares for the amount of investment. So they may ask for the interest rate as a sweetener. They may ask for a discount as an additional sweetener. Another thing that they will probably ask for, if the investor is smart, is he'll want a cap on valuation. So the fear in the investor's heart is, I give you $100,000 because you told me the Series A is going to get done at a valuation of $10 million. What if you get rich Uncle Phil to agree to do a $30 million valuation? Now I'm going to end up getting 1/3 of the amount of stock I thought I was going to get. So the investor wants protection against the founders of the company finding somebody that does something off market and is willing to do a much higher valuation than that investor imagined. So you'll see what's called a valuation cap. So if the A round comes in below the 10 million that the investor expected, great. He would like his dollars to convert at that rate. If it ends up being higher than what he expected, he wants to only convert at the rate that he expected, that 10 million valuation cap. So you'll see that as a feature. Sometimes unsophisticated investors will get confused and they will think of all debt as debt. And so if Bank of America was going to loan Crowley.com money, they would want a secured interest on all of Crowley.com's assets. That's not how convertible notes work. It should be unsecured debt. So when the investor invests, he was supposed to get Series A, that's the deal, and he will get Series A when the note converts. But if the note doesn't convert, he's unsecured debt, not secured debt. We don't want the investors to come in and grab all of our assets. That's not how a notes program would work. So typical elements are, you'd see a note purchase agreement where we get the investor to tell us some things about himself, to confirm he's an investor that will be able to tolerate a loss of the money that he loaned us, and to help us also do securities filings, because most notes, the fact that they're going to be convertible into something that we all know is a security, a share of stock, makes the note itself a security. So we want the note purchase agreement to help us on the securities front. We draft the unsecured convertible promissory note with whatever features you've negotiated. And then you have to do the securities filing on the back end, which is why you typically would need a lawyer. So now you're smarter than 99% of the folks that are doing convertible notes. We hope that this is helpful and that you'll check out our other videos.